There we go. All right. Here we are. I gotta get back over here. All right. Justice Department unsealed warrant and forfeiture complaint seeks seizure of oil tanker Grace 1 for unlawful use of U.S. financial system to support and finance IRGC sale of oil products to Syria. Remember how we covered this was it last week we covered this? Week before? Yeah. Justice Department. So, Justice News. Dun, 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 dun. It's Justice News. The seizure warrant and forfeiture complaint were unsealed today in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, alleging that oil tanker Grace 1, all petroleum aboard it, and $995,000 are subject to forfeiture based on violations of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, bank fraud statute, and money laundering statute, as well as separately the terrorism forfeiture statute. John Demers. Okay, these are all the names of the people that were involved. We'll skip that. The documents allege a scheme to unlawfully access the U.S. financial system to support illicit shipments to Syria from Iran by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a designated foreign terrorist organization. The scheme involves multiple parties affiliated with the IRGC and furthered by the deceptive voyages of the Grace 1. Voyages of the Grace 1. A network of front companies allegedly laundered millions of dollars in support of such shipments. A seizure warrant is merely an allegation. Every criminal defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty, and the burden of proof of forfeitability in a civil forfeiture proceeding is upon the government. In announcing the indictment, U.S. Attorney Liu commended the work of those who investigated the case from HSI and FBI. They also expressed appreciation for the Criminal Division's Office of Internal Affairs, because, the government loves its alphabet soup, for its assistance in this case. Finally, they acknowledged the work of Assistant U.S. Attorneys Faruqi and Hudak and National Security Division Trial Attorney David Lim, who were handling this matter with assistance from paralegal Liz Swinnick and Brian Rickers and the legal assistant Jessica McCormick. So, we have now unsealed the complaint. Now, we already knew about this because if you guys remember, it was a couple of weeks back where Britain had seized it and they had seized something from Britain or something happened. I reported on that, so, that mess is still going on. But now we're getting into the mess because why? Iran sanctions Britain and allies. Because, Iran has certain sanctions on it, but they keep trying to go around everything. And, we have to catch them at it. But, somehow, somewhere, some way, some people still think that we can argue with we can, negotiate with terrorists, and we can sanction terrorists and madmen, and they'll go, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so sorry that you sanctioned me. I behave now. Oh, Lord. All right. Leave it, take it or leave it. Antonio Guterres from the UN, I believe. This July was the hottest month ever recorded. The climate emergency, in testifying month by month, day by day, every bit of warming matters. The only response is climate action now. Here's the graphic they want to scare you with. I'm pointing this out, not because I believe this. Do I believe in climate change and global warming? Okay, yes. Climate change happens. It has always happened. It will always happen. Global warming to a degree happens, and it will always happen. That is not the debate here. That is not what we're arguing here. What we're arguing here, and what has always been the major crux of any of these climate change or, global warming, global cooling bullshits, is, are we speeding up the process? So, while they're trying to scare the population at large, they keep forgetting that the question they need to be asking is, are we speeding up this process? If the answer is yes, how are we speeding up this process? What do we need to do to slow down this process? And how do we talk to the third world countries and countries like China to slow down the process as well, seeing how their pollution emissions and their carbon footprint is a hell of a lot bigger than most of the other countries out there in terms of, not having any clean air or, environmental protection regulations. All right, next one. CBP, South Texas. Eagle Pass Border Patrol agents rescue group of 28 from Rio Grande. More info. Let me open this. Can I get over here? Bink. There we go. Okay. Border Patrol agents rescue group of 28 from Rio Grande River. Agents working with Eagle Pass South Station Marine Unit rescued 28 people from the Rio Grande River August 15th. These individuals found themselves in a life-threatening situation because they were crossing illegally. Which is unfortunate and far too common as smugglers continue to show no empathy for people they attempt to cross illegally into the United States. Quick quiz, people who can type and aren't driving. What's the name for the person smuggler that helps people come from the southern side of the border into the U.S.? Please write it in the chat if you know what it is. Cel del Rio Sector Chief Patrol Agent Raul L. Ortiz. Had our agents not been there to provide rescue efforts, the situation would have ended in tragedy. Marine agents rescued 28 Honduran nationals, including 14 children, after the group attempted to cross the Rio Grande River near the Eagle Pass golf course. The group entered the river guided by a smuggler who left them stranded in high-current, waist-deep water. Marine agents quickly maneuvered their patrol vessel to the group and began assisting people out of the water. While the agents were helping people onto the boat, several people were swept away by the strong current. Marine agents aboard a second vessel were able to safely rescue them and shuttle them to the U.S. riverbank. The children rescued ranged from 8 months to 17 years of age. The group was evaluated by U.S. Border Patrol EMTs and processed per CPB guidelines. An increase of water release from Amistad Dam has elevated the river to near flood stage, creating dangerous conditions for anyone attempting to cross the Rio Grande River. The Del Rio Border Patrol Sector is part of the Joint Task Force West-South Texas Corridor, which leverages federal, state, and local resources to combat transnational criminal organizations. To support suspicious activity, call the Del Rio Sector's toll-free number listed there, and you can see it on your screen. Exactly, a coyote. That is what they call them. They pay these coyotes tens of thousands of dollars to either smuggle their children or their entire family into the United States. Once these coyotes have the money, they don't give a shit what happens to the people. They have their money. Because the coyotes promise safe passage. And these people travel thousands of miles with small children in tow in order to get here illegally. And I keep stressing illegally because they keep doing it illegally. Now, I am not including those that go to the ports of entry specifically. Okay? Because if they go to the ports of entry specifically to request asylum or to see what they need to have to get sponsored in order to start the naturalization process to become a citizen of the United States, I don't have a problem with that. So when you're crossing illegally, like here across el Rio Grande, then I have a problem with it because you're not respecting our country enough to respect its immigration laws. So your ass needs to go back home. And our beautiful picture of the day is we're thunderstruck by this incredible picture of Devil's Tower by Matthew Brighter. So yeah, it's very hard to capture one lightning strike, albeit this guy captured several of them in a purplish blue night sky, which makes this our Department of the Interior picture of the day and the end to our government dump segment. I'm getting those last 2 bites into my grits so I can go ahead and finish the story. Sorry. All right. Close that. Okay. I need this. I need to put this here. Because now we're going into the news. And that's another video down. If you liked it, there's this. If you didn't like it, there's that. There's a subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. If you're not sure, there's more content you can watch before you make that all-powerful decision of clicking the red bell and making it go dark. There's also a bell that's just about as fickle as a pregnant woman in a candy aisle when she's got a craving or she's hungry. And because it only works whenever it feels like it. But the bell's there. In the description below is all the ways that you can support this channel, as well as links to blogs and other channels and so on and so forth. So, until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.